Hello, everyone, and welcome to Armstrong in the Loop podcast. I'm your host, Seth Prentice, and today I'm joined by Heidi Bowser, Director of Membership and Healthy Living for the Butler County Family YMCA. Heidi, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's great to be with you, Seth. It's good to see you. We're here in the morning, rocking and rolling at the Butler YMCA.
Well, happy 2021. I had Jordan Grady on here last week, and I said this is going to be the best year ever. Hope I didn't jinx myself, as the Pittsburgh Steelers have already been knocked out of the playoffs. So I guess it's time to start working on those New Year resolutions, right?
Right, exactly. Let's just focus on things that we can control.
That's it. Well, let's get into it. Heidi, many people listening are aware of what the YMCA is in some capacity, but would you like to give a general description of everything the Y does?
Oh, that would be very difficult, but I'm going to give it my best shot because, a lot of people think of the YMCA as just a gym, the place to work out, and we are so much more than that. We are a community resource. We provide childcare to our community here. We are a meeting place for many different groups. We host a swim team. We also do something that really nobody else in the area does, and that is we help families by providing financial assistance so that nobody is turned down. Everybody can get a membership to the Butler YMCA or the Rosie Schneider YMCA in our association. So YMCAs are unique that way in that we are really a community resource for families.
And YMCAs all over have been that part of the connection in a community, kind of like the glue that holds everything together. I remember going to the Y Younger for swimming lessons because that's where you went to go learn how to swim. But, the workouts, and you do programs for after school for children as well.
Yes, we do. And again, through our child care services. I mean, one of the really cool things that we've done recently is that we also provide care for families whose children are, learning remotely, which, as you know, was the case and mandated where children had to learn remotely from home. Well, what do you do if you're a parent that works and can't provide not only the care, but the supervision for learning? So we got into that business. We have the space here in our building, and childcare expanded its role. And we are also facilitating children who are learning from home in our facility. So they're sitting there with their laptops and learning, and we're making sure they get on their Google Meets and they're getting on at the right time. And it's just something that we were able to do and just said, hey, we've got to adapt. And we did. And it's something that I think we can feel good about.
I actually think that's one item I never would have thought the Y would have taken on, but you are a great resource for that, as you have a large enough space to take on quite a few students.
Yep. So we've done that. And of course, we've always had after school care for many of the elementary schools. They get bused directly here to the YMCA, and we've been doing that for many years as well. So that's what I'm saying, is that this is really much more than a gym. So resources that you would just really have no idea that were going on here. We provide space for Rotary meetings, and just a lot of things go on here every day to support the community, and that's what we're most proud of.
Well, we can continue to thank you for doing that, as without the Y, there would be a lot of things that the community would miss out on. January is here, Heidi, and the time for New Year's resolutions is fully kicked in gear. The number one resolution, if you can believe it or not, is to get healthy or lose weight. How can we achieve this and make it stick in 2021?
Well, you know what? I have always had the exact right answer for this question, being a wellness professional for many, many years. Now that we are still in the midst of the health crisis that is COVID-19, it's changed a little bit. But I will tell you this, and I will try to give you some good places to start. You have to adapt right now to how you would like to work out. So what we're doing here at the Y is we are, number one, staying open and providing the programs and the services that we always have for wellness. Now more than ever, mental and physical wellness are key. With people having been staying home and a lot of people feeling like they've done nothing and they're just going crazy, we are trying to provide choices for people to stay well. So I will give you some ways that we're doing that. Number one, we are open here at the Y. We are following state mandates and trying to keep people, give them the choices to stay as safe as possible while working out, both in the wellness center, which would be the gym, our 2 pools, and group exercise both on land and in the water. Also, when we had to shut our doors, really, we shut our doors for a total of 4 months in 2020. So we had to decide, how are we going to serve our members? How are we going to serve the community? And one of the big things that we decided to do, and that has been a great success, is that we have created our virtual Y, which is online workouts taught by instructors that our members know and love. And they can get on literally on demand and find workouts for every type of preference that they might have, whether it's high intensity or mind and body classes or whatever the case may be. So we literally created a virtual Y in, the minute we were closed in March. I think we turned around and had stuff on there in a week. And I know that myself and our executive director, Sandy Eilenfeld, and our group exercise coordinator, Mickey Stewart, were all in our living rooms doing Facebook Live classes. So we just said, well, where there's a will, there's a way. So with that said, the number one thing that you can do to find wellness for yourself and to achieve your goals in 2021 as far as wellness is to find something that you love to do and to be consistent about it. So you're not going to do something you hate. Try a number of things. Try group exercise, whether virtually or here at the facility. Go into the pool, try a water class, swim laps, try everything till you find something you like, and then make it an appointment, meaning make yourself a priority. So this is my number one piece of advice every single year. Do something you like and keep doing it.
Is there a routine or a way for people to get in that mindset of, I can do this 2 days a week and then go up 3 days a week, maybe push it to 4 to 5. How do you build on that repetition so that it becomes something that stays in that lifestyle for, longer than a month or two?
Mm-hmm. Well, Seth, that's a really good question. And there's a couple ways that I'll answer that. I really like what you said, because as also a wellness coach, one of the things that we do when we're talking to people about starting a new routine is ask them what they are willing to do. The easiest way to set somebody up for failure is to say, you need to work out 5 days for an hour this week, and they're just starting out. That is probably the worst piece of advice that you could give. I would ask somebody, what would you be willing to do this week? I'm going to start out with 3 days a week. Would you be willing? And usually I'll say, would you be willing to do 15 minutes? Would you be willing to walk for 15 minutes? Usually the answer is yes, and gosh, is that enough? And the reality is, if I can get somebody to walk for 15 minutes 3 times a week, and maybe then 4 times a week, and if I can have them mentally, because a lot of this is, again, mind, body. This is a lot of neuroscience involved. What I'll ask them to do is key in to their best feelings about what they're doing. When they're walking, I want you to mentally key into how you feel and how you feel like you're doing really something good for yourself. Key into that, because the neurons that fire together, wire together, that's neuroscience. So I want you to wire in those good feelings, and that's going to start to create the consistency over time. So those are some of the things that I would be thinking about if I were trying to get somebody to become a consistent exerciser.
Makes great sense. And one part that has to be talked about is you can work out, you can do everything you want in the gym, in a pool, on a bike, on a treadmill, but you got to feed your body right.
Nutrition.
Yes.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience here.
Well, I do have a little bit of experience, on this, but at the same time, I don't know everything about it, and I'm sure our listeners don't either. But, the biggest part when it comes to any lifestyle change is, the food that you put into your body has to be, the equivalent of, whatever you're doing output wise. And
Right.
you can't just fill your body with junk and expect great results when you're at the gym or working out.
Well, you're 100% right. What you put into your body is going to just go along with your exercise. What we find is really any diet basically that cuts calories, and then I'll speak about nutrition further, but this is why diets don't work, because any diet that cuts calories is going to make you lose weight. That doesn't mean that you can stick to it. So what we really want to do, and our personal trainers will talk to clients about this. They're not nutritionists or dietitians, so some of it is beyond their scope of practice. What we can say and what we know from science is that you should focus on whole, unprocessed foods. That means I really make it simple. When I was working with clients, I would make it really simple and say, hey, look at your plate. I'd like to see a half of your plate be green stuff, and literally, and I'd like to see the other quarter be a lean protein, and then I'd like the other quarter to be a healthy fat. And, that is the way, there are simple ways that we can kind of break it down that way. Looking at your plate is a great way to do it. I would say focus less on restrictive diets that cut out certain food groups, because you're just not going to stick to those diets. You'll lose weight at first. You'll lose weight with any diet, but focus on whole, unprocessed food with lots of plant-based offerings. So, we're talking about the vegetable category. We're talking about vegetables and beans. We know that in the places in the world where people live the longest, they basically focus on plant-based diets. So I will recommend, and always recommended to my clients or people that walk through the door at the Y, let's just talk about getting more plants into your diet first. Then the exercise, what it does is it supports the healthy lifestyle. So the exercise does burn calories and fat, but it also gets you mentally where you need to be so that you will continue to support all of the healthy lifestyle habits that you'd like to focus on. So that's how I approach nutrition.
Well, and one more part on nutrition, and I think a lot of people are guilty of this, is sugary drinks. I think that's a big thing that is a hard habit for people to break. What is a suggestion on your behalf on what people can do, maybe to even cut it in half, and that's a way to start seeing some results as well, especially if you're taking part in other healthier styles.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people that are more into the science of nutrition than I, who consult with clients, will tell people basically not to drink your calories. That's sort of the across the board, advice. I would say to focus on absolutely what you said is true. If you really have a strong habit, what we can do is we can start to cut back. We can start to cut back definitely on, sodas, pops, whatever you want to call it. In Chicago, we call it pop. We call it sodas here. But I usually try to steer people away from that. If they're drinking lots of other kinds of drinks and energy drinks and fruit juices, I'll say to cut those with seltzer water, or cut juice with seltzer water, which is one that has worked for a lot of people that I've worked with. I'll also say, if you can, let's do some water. We can drink a little bit of coffee. We can drink tea. I'm a water, coffee, tea person for the most part, and that works for me. Some people would say, Heidi, you're over caffeinated, but aside from Aside from that, that's what I do. And when I work with clients, I would say, let's work on not drinking your calories so you can have nice, healthy, balanced meals and focus on what you're getting nutritionally out of your food. Since basically drinks like that are empty calories, right? There's no nutrition in those.
Heidi, let's say I'm a new person. I want to start coming to the YMCA, but
Yes.
getting into a weight room, might intimidate me, or trying to start classes where people are at different advanced levels than I am. How do you start that for someone that this might be their first time, or it might be the fifth or sixth time trying, and it's just hard to get over that hurdle?
That's also a good question. And there's no question that a lot of people who walk through our doors um, have tried to make this habit stick many, many times. But this time could be a success. How I approach this is the way that I approach it when I give someone a tour. When they come in and they say, hey, I'd like to join the YMCA. I hear that I can get healthy here. And the first thing I say is, that's true. So let's talk about what you like to do. So as I give somebody a tour, I'm listening. And you need to learn to listen to yourself. Where have you had success in the past? And usually it's something. So I might say, what do you think you're interested in? And it's, well, I used to swim in high school. Or, really? Okay, let's talk about that. Do you like to swim laps? Do you like to, or, oh, I used to take, aerobics classes in the 80s, and I love that. And but I haven't done that for a long time. So I'm just listening. And people need to learn to listen to themselves. What do I like to do? The reason that we're here is that when we take someone on a tour, we're saying, okay, let's direct them to places where they'd like to go. I like to connect people to group exercise classes if possible, because what I know is that once I get somebody in a group of like-minded people, all doing an exercise together, whether it's in the water or on land, people feel the energy, they connect to other people, and they start to come to that class regularly. And then there's this weird accountability. Someone goes away for a week and then they come back and they say, where were you? We missed you. And all of that stuff, again, leads to consistency. So one thing that we do really well here at the Y is group exercise. We have an extensive class list of classes for all ages and all fitness levels. In the water and on land. So we have, I will stand it up against any program in the area. We've got the best group fitness at the Butler County Family YMCA in general. So I will usually try to connect someone to a class and also connect them to a nice thing that we do here, which is called Smart Start. We literally, every new member can sign up for something called Smart Start, which is about a 40-minute orientation with a personal trainer that teaches them how to use different equipment in our wellness center, which is our gym. A lot of people don't even know how to turn on the machine, right? So that's going to be a real barrier to entry if you walk into a gym and you don't know how to turn the machine on. So this Smart Start connects the new member with somebody that can really help them learn how to utilize the gym in the best possible way. And we also have regular hours where there's somebody in the wellness center that can also be there to answer any questions that they might have. So that's kind of how I direct them. It's basically taking somebody on a tour.
That's amazing. And it makes sense because it really needs to be that, sometimes people need to hear things and not just go, I know how to use a machine. Yeah, I know how to use a dumbbell. Well, guess what? There's actually way more science to it than that. But, some people just need to be able to talk about it and have that comfort level with someone else that can help them get over that next step.
Well, sure. And then also, there's also personal training. I just wanted to throw that in there because, we do have a full roster of certified personal trainers here at the Butler Y. And I often suggest to people who come in, listen, buy a package of personal training. It will be the best money that you have spent because they are going to get the knowledge that they need to walk into the gym or whatever they're doing, or work out at home. I mean, trainers will, are listening, what do you need? And they're there to solve problems. So the other, nice avenue would be to hire a personal trainer, even for a few sessions, and you'll learn a lot.
Well, let's get into what you just mentioned, actually.
Mhm.
Working out at home. I can say from personal experience, I used to attend the gym from 2012 to March 2020, and 2020 happened.
Mhm.
And I haven't been in a gym since. I've been forced to make my own home gym, and I've seen at other facilities that are not as nice nor as well kept as the YMCA, and I just didn't have faith that something wouldn't happen. So now I've created a home gym, but at the same time, I do still miss that the just being inside of a gym. Um,
Sure.
what is some advice for people like myself who I don't know if I'll ever get back to a gym, but I still miss having things that the gym offered?
Well, again, this is going to be a personal choice, and of course, as 2020 happened and gyms were closed in this area and many areas around the country, a lot of people, purchased more exercise equipment for their homes, and I don't have a problem with that. The other thing is, as we did, we pivoted and said, hey, let's offer people things that they can do from their living room. So if you are a Group X junkie, you're going to get on our virtual Y off of our website, and you're going to go on there and you're going to see a host of instructors that you've been working out with, and you can do workouts with them. So there's a lot of ways to do that. I would say, and you and I talked for a minute right before we went on air, and I said, hey, good luck with that, because it's great that you're doing that, but by the same token, you're going to find you may not have any compliance for the long haul, so that you might find that over the course of time, you get a little bored. So there might be a little boredom to where you say, this is working out for me, and I love, doing this treadmill or doing this exercise bike a couple, 3 days a week, but I really miss, lifting in a gym, or I miss, taking a class with other humans. Or so really the way to look at this is be glad you're moving in any way. I would say, I'm so glad you're moving at home or any way, but be open to remotivating yourself, because the number one reason people stop complying is because they get bored, right? They just get bored. So for me, I'm always looking for ways to remotivate myself, because I've been in this a really long time. So it might be, let me teach a class at a new time. Like for me, it's something different. For somebody like you working out at home, be open to say, hey, you know what, in a couple months, I might want to get down to the Y and see what's going on so that I can get in there a couple of days a week. And it's all about mentally and physically challenging yourself.
How about fear? Fear of coming back. And I'm sure, you've seen that with some members, but it sounds like you've actually had more good faith out of your members than anything.
The journey here, I mean, we've been hit like a lot of other businesses, restaurants and businesses where people are afraid to leave their homes. What I can say is everything we do right now, we do it as safely as we can, but it's all, the only way I can put it is a calculated risk. It's a calculated risk going to the grocery store, seeing family members, whatever it is we do. You have to decide what your priorities are for you. We have literally done everything in our power here at the Y to make this space as safe as we can possibly make it. We cannot guarantee anyone's health or safety. That's impossible to do. And if I said that, it would just be untrue. But what we have done is we have completely reconfigured our spaces. We have socially distanced our wellness center so that all of our machines, every other cardio machine is blocked off. We have distanced our Cybex equipment. We have put social distance decals in all of the group exercise spaces and limited the number of people so that everyone has a dot and they know where to stand. And now, based on state mandate too, we are wearing masks and face coverings. And it's really working for the most part. Every time the Y is open, I'm teaching classes. and knock on wood, I've stayed healthy. And I feel like I'm healthier physically and mentally because I'm doing what I'm used to doing. So there's so many people that can't wait to get back because it's keeping them mentally and physically healthy. And that's what we're looking to do. So and the cleaning, I mean, my goodness, this is the cleanest place. Believe me, I wish our team were at my house because this place is as clean as a whistle. We're doing high touch cleaning every hour. I mean, there are sanitation stations at every Cybex weight machine. The members are joining in to keep their other fellow members safe. Everyone's spraying and cleaning and wiping, and it's really nice to see. And again, another way to see the community coming together so we can stay healthy together.
Well, and actually that, in a long about way, that's what I was kind of getting at on my earlier comment of, I never saw people wiping down equipment. It drove me nuts. It's so gross, but, just clean it down. And so I'm glad to hear that your members are, stepping up for one another and going that extra mile. And some still, some are really good at cleaning, but there's just countless times you just see the droplets of sweat on the machine or, on the bench, and it just drove me nuts.
Right. And so in a way, hopefully these habits will continue. Crossing the fingers. So we'd like to see these habits continue so that people are respectful of, everybody's spaces. So far, so good. And we see people really complying with the rules that we have set up here. And I believe, our members are thrilled to be back. We opened up again last week. We were closed over the Christmas holiday and reopened on January 4th, and it's been fantastic. And, don't forget, too, that people have been isolated. A lot of our older members who have been isolated and not talking to people, they come in and they're thrilled that we're open. And they're happy to comply with the mandates and wear their masks and just come in and talk to us and do their laps or whatever they're doing. And it's just phenomenal to see that, we're still able to be here for the people that would like to come.
Well, for 2021, is there anything exciting that the Butler County Family YMCA has coming up to share with us?
Stay on the lookout for events because there are some events coming up that we are going to try to do our Bowl for the Kids event again. And again, we probably have to do that in a different way than we did that before, but anything that we can do to help the community is where the Butler Y is. We're always looking for ways to improve the wellness of our community and to be inclusive. So please stay tuned, go on our Facebook page, get on our website, and see what's going on. And if you'd like to be a part of it, we are happy to direct you to opportunities where you can help.
Well, we'll put all the social and your website information in the notes of our show so people can click and go check out everything that you have to offer. Heidi, is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Well, I just want to share with you. First of all, I want to thank you, Seth. This has been a lot of fun talking about my favorite subject and to see you again. And I want to welcome everybody to come into the Butler Y for a tour. I'd love to show you around. Give me a call. My name is Heidi Nichols-Bowser, and we welcome you to the Butler Y.
Well, thank you, Heidi, so much for coming on and sharing all this wonderful information. I learned some things today as well, so I greatly appreciate it. For more information on the Butler County YMCA, please log on to bcfymca.org. For Armstrong in the Loop podcast, I'm Seth Prentice, keeping you in the loop. Are you enjoying Armstrong in the Loop podcast? Great news! All past and current episodes are available on popular streaming apps and websites. Search Armstrong in the Loop podcast and subscribe today.